The environment in which women are living in today is highly characterized by sexual harassment, incivility, bullying, patriarchy. You mentioned it all, but today particularly we'll be focusing on child marriages, early child marriages. What is it that is happening in Zimbabwe? What threw such a topic on Her Issues platform today? My name is Helen Tizamepo and I am your host to this show tagged Her Issues. Today in the studio we shall be talking about the case of Memory Machaya, a very young woman, a very young lady who was molested at the age of 14. What is it that you think when you hear things like this? It really raises some concerns, and we are starting this show with a sad note and a heavy one on Her Issues, as we could not pay a blind eye to the recent disheartening case of Memory Machaya. In the studio today, I am joined by Rudo with Shangwari Mwanaskana. Rudo, you can have the platform and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Helen. My name is Rudo Magwanyata. I'm the Advocacy and Influence Officer at Shangwari Mwanaskana.
This is what we have in the studio today. Shangwari Mwanaskana, an organization that is actually advocating for child rights, particularly with the girl child. Ruda, how far has your organization gone as Shangwari Mwanaskana? How far have you gone in trying to make sure that the realization of the goals of the rights of the girl child are observed in Zimbabwe?
As Shangwari Mwanaskana, what we've managed to do is to empower girls to know their rights. We have done this through our Dandaro Girls Club, which we have girls from the local communities in our different districts to come through and learn about their rights, including their sexual reproductive health rights. So this is something that we're actually proud of as an organization, that we are grooming child rights ambassadors from the grassroots going up. So Dandaro Devascana is one of the platforms that we've managed to use as an organization. We have also groomed girls to be in the girls' rights movement. They are also child rights ambassadors again. And we have had school campaigns where we go to schools from primary school, high school, educating girls on their rights. And this has also had a good influence with the schools. We have managed to build good relations with the schools that they actually encourage girls to open clubs within their schools.
Okay, that's a good one. When we are outside the school environment, we'll talk about citizen participation. But in this regard, Shangwari Mwanaskana is coming in to actually educate and inform the girls at a very tender age. Let's make sure that we inform and educate our children of their rights so that they will safeguard them dearly. The other thing that concerns me about this issue regarding Memory Machaya is that she was actually from that apostolic sect. Now, given the Marange set up, it's an apostolic sect where it is polygamous, they do not seek medical attention, and they also allow child marriages on basis of spiritual finding. In this regard, let's take an example of where we have a girl child who is not informed, or rather, we could have a child who is actually informed about their rights, but then when it comes to the conflicts that might arise, trying to know and affirm their rights, or rather disregarding their religious aspects. Now I'm bringing in a new theme altogether, talking about democracy versus religion. What is it that the government of Zimbabwe is actually doing? First and foremost, I really want to make sure that I applaud the government of Zimbabwe for actually allowing the existence of organizations such as the Shangwari Mwanaskana organization. We have the Msasa project, and we also have the Zimbabwe Gender Commission to mention. This actually means that in Zimbabwe, they are promoting gender rights, and they're actually trying to promote gender equality. But in this case of Memory, we disheartened. We're now seeing child marriages practices in Zimbabwe, and it has been brought to my attention that it is not only Memory Machaya that was a victim. She was actually a victim of a calculated deception, yes, but how many more kids out there are victims of early child marriages? How many children out there? What is your statistics as an organization? Is it that we still have child marriages at rampant or escalating beyond the reach of such organizations as Shangwari Mwanaskana?
One of the things that the government has let us down with is realigning of laws. If I'm not mistaken, year-wise, in 2006, the Constitutional Court ruled that child marriages were illegal in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So from 2006 up until 2021, which is this year, there hasn't been any law put in place to actually second what the Constitutional Court said.
Yes.
Right now we have the marriage bill, which
Yes.
is a section that says the minimum age of marriage is 18.
Yes.
But it has not been enacted into
yes.
law. This draws us back in our efforts because if you go with a girl to the police and say she's in a child marriage, the police
Yes.
can't do anything.
They cannot literally do anything because there is no law that has been set to protect this girl child. So at some point we can note that it is a give and take approach. Yes, a child must be married at the age of 18. It is made known public, but then nothing much has been done. And we stand vulnerable. Much of these girl children are vulnerable and have got nothing to do as per se. But then when we have such a show-tagged issues, we're trying to make sure that how best can we do it. Even you back home there, you can actually come up with a citizen participation strategy so that we make sure and we see to the enactment of laws that protect the girl child. In the case of Memory Machaya, she was actually denied the right to education, the right to health. What is it that has been done by the government to make sure that children out there are actually given the rights to education? How far have they gone in making sure that girls are protected? In a patriarchal society like Zimbabwe, we also know that these religions are shunning democracy in a way and the realization of women's rights with specific reference to women. How far as women are we in a position to express our own opinions? How far do we have the freedom of expression as women in Zimbabwe? In as much as we're talking about memory, it's a very sad case, I tell you, and it is very disheartening. But then how far can we go as Zimbabwe having cases where where little children are dying? Recently we had a case of Tapua Makore who was murdered by his own relatives. Now we have Memory Machaya, and investigative officers are saying this could be a murder case. How far are we going to be silent about these issues in Zimbabwe, particularly given the aspect that we are from a patriarchal understanding? In as much as we have some social and cultural backgrounds, how far are you willing to go as an individual to see to the realization of women's rights? She was mentioning earlier about the Marriage Act and the Customary Marriage Act. These do not give a minimum age of consent. So in this regard, women will stand in despair and puzzled, stressed and all that. As I've been mentioning earlier, I'm just one who is so concerned about those issues that are happening in Zimbabwe. How far can we be navigating our way through as Zimbabweans to see to the utilization and realization of those rights? Someone was asking me, I do not know, you've been interacting very much with these young girls. Someone was asking, are these early marriages in Zimbabwe a result of our economic background, financial crisis and all? I would want to know, at some point at her issues, we are going to be bringing in young children, teenagers, for crying out loud, to actually talk about those problems that they are facing. Are they going into these marriages because they are facing economic hardships? How far have you gone in that area, Rudo?
Economic hardships is one of the contributing factors as far as child marriages is concerned, especially in the more remote areas. Parents marry their children away because they want them to secure some economic support from the husband in courts or the perpetrator, the abuser, to put it correctly. However, in the case of Memory, we have this apostolic sect mental conditioning, psychological conditioning, because as soon as the child is born, they already know the family that she is going to marry into. They do not reach a certain age. They go to school probably until grade 2 or grade 3, and then they drop out. They're already being prepared for marriage. So to them, it's not abuse or anything. It's not even economic hardship, but then it's the mental the psychological.
They are trained in such a way that they could understand that marriage is an achievement. Those are now a contribution of our social backgrounds. Where do you come from? In this regard, we're saying that every child's background is actually proning a bearing to whatever situation that she is going to be succumbing. How far do we go with this issue of child and early marriages? From my own understanding, a lot of children in Zimbabwe get to write their O-level pregnant. There are teachers there, they're educated. There are parents there, they're educated. There is nothing that is done to report this cases. Most of the time it is swept under the carpet, as if you are sweeping down and under the carpet the corruption of high-ranking political officers. So in that regard, it actually means that In Zimbabwe, we actually need a break the silence campaign and change the systems. Why don't we just break the silence and change the systems? That is the hashtag of this show at Her Issues. My name once again is Helen Chizamepo. Do continue to follow us on our YouTube platforms, our social media platforms. That is, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like our Facebook page. Once again, my name is Helen Chizamepo, and welcome back to the show tagged Her Issues, where we are talking about Memory Machaya, the 14-year-old girl who died while giving birth at an apostolic shrine. How far do you see this far from the realization of the rights of the girl child? In a country where we're supposed to make sure that we see to the empowerment of the girl child, we are actually noticing that the girl child is left with no protection at all. As I was mentioning earlier, there is no marriage act or law that rules the age of consent for women or girls in Zimbabwe. Rudo, my main concern is on the mother. In this regard, when someone gives birth or you give birth, you'd actually want to know and see to the fact that your child is okay. And even in the case of burying that child, you should be present. In this case, we see utter discrimination and segregation of Memory Machaya's mother, who in this case, we're saying that Memory Machaya was buried in the absence of her mother. What does that really mean, and how would you take it as a woman in the case that we actually channel justice towards what happened to Memory Machaya? What is it that you think should be done by government, and how far should the government go pertaining to this?
In the case of Memory's mother, we are moving away from gender equality. We are moving away to the efforts that we are actually working towards of having women have a voice. Because as a mother, you can't have your child being buried without you being present. And you are not there.
It's quite a sad note.
It's quite heartbreaking. She won't find closure. She won't know what happened to her daughter, because if they regards to have her dying on the shrine and burying her, what does that mean for her? What questions does she have? Who answer the questions that she has so that she can have closure as a mother? So I think patriarchy has contributed to how they acted on burying her without the mother being present. When
she's talking about patriarchy, she's actually trying to bring in the fact that men are considered more important than women. In this case, we see that men could actually have power and autonomy to see to the burial of a child when the mother is not there, which is complete discrimination and again a violation of all the rights pertaining to women in Zimbabwe, which actually raises concern on this platform. As Helen Chizamepo, one was really concerned, you know, Zimbabwe I've been mentioning earlier about Tapua Makore, who was actually alleged to have died through rituals. Now we have Memory Machaya. This is now becoming rampant in Zimbabwe, and it becomes a very unsafe place for children out there. What is it that you think we can do? Do not forget to drop your comments at Her Issues on Facebook. You can drop them on Twitter as well as YouTube. What do you have to say as the conclusive remarks pertaining to these issues? How far do you think we can actually navigate our way through as women in Zimbabwe?
There is need for collective response to issues that affect the girl child. We need to work together, CSOs, the NGOs, and the government in ensuring that the girl child is fully protected. We can't have judgments that are done, that are made 5 years ago, and then we move without any laws that are protecting girls. This is actually a negative effect on girls. So we need to work together as a country, as stakeholders that have interest towards the girl child, ensuring that they are well protected, their best interests are of paramount importance.
Very interesting there. I love the views from Rudo, who is from Shamwari Mwanasikana. You know, such organizations, when they are around us, we would feel so warm. Just give your child an opportunity to take part in the Dandaro events that you're talking about. Do not let your child live in the vacuum. In as much as we would want to embrace religion, I am not shunning religion, but in as much as we embrace religion, let's just make sure that whatever that we're doing, we don't seek to infringe or shun some of our rights. When we're talking about about this Machaya case. Ladies and gentlemen, we sit with the infringement of the rights to health, the rights to be heard, and the right to express their opinion. Once again, the hashtag to the show is, why don't we just break the silence and change the systems? My name once again is Ellen Tizamebo, and I am your host at Her Issues. Do not forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel at Her Issues. My name is Ellen Tizamebo. Once again, one Wasu concerned, hashtag the concerned Wasu. See you next time and goodbye.